Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. My name is Dave Kanyan, and I am your host, your one and only solo host of this show, each and every episode. I appreciate you tuning in to the fastest podcast on earth as I am recording this in my Kia Rio, 2008 Kia Rio, which now has 206,240 miles. I will be traveling southbound on the New York State Thruway momentarily, and I will be traveling at speeds from at least 65 miles an hour to an unspecified amount in miles per hour and also kilometers. For those of you in metrically configured countries of the world. I forget. I read somewhere, I think United States and like only one other place is non-metric. Like the whole world is metric. For whatever reason, we cannot figure it out in the United States. So anyway, hello dum-dums. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you as a part of this broadcast, this podcast. Anyway, yes, it is 5:52 in the morning. It is Wednesday, May 11th, and I just completed my 14-and-a-half-hour workday with the hour commute in front of that, which makes it 15 and a half, and now it'll be about an hour commute home, which will put me at 16 and a half hours for the day. Why do I mention that? Because I'm going to probably start to yawn at some point of this podcast, and you will hear the degradation. I think I've used that word before, and I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's the word, the degradation, the degrading of my consciousness during this podcast, my ability to complete a thought, to complete a sentence, series of sentences. Then when I start yawning, I could totally yawn, the thought out of my head. I could be in the middle of something really deep, and then all of a sudden I just have a big yawn, and then it's all gone. Goners, goodbyers. So, anyway, just thought I would share that with you. Once again, this is another one of my podcasts where I wasn't going to do one this morning. I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel like I had anything really fascinating, interesting, compelling, entertaining. I didn't have anything. But I said, you know what? I was listening to some beautiful music on the classical station up here, the public radio, and that is my musical station of choice. I used to listen to not classical music. I used to listen to classic rock. I mean, that's what they offer you here. When I don't have the Sirius satellite, let's put it that way. When I had Sirius satellite, I used to listen to Howard Stern pretty much religiously until I got sick of it. I would hear the 4 or 5 hour broadcast, and I might hear part of the repeat or whatever, and then I would venture around all over the dial. As there is no dial on Sirius, but you know what I mean. Up and down the channels, and I would either find another talk show or I'd find music, and I would just listen to whatever I wanted to. It'd be a combination of classic rock or the 80s, the 70s was a favorite of mine, still is a favorite of mine. Deep cuts. I'm not doing a commercial here for Sirius Satellite as much as I'm not doing a commercial for the Kia Rio. I just like to mention these things so you have these details. Whether you're new to the podcast or whether you're a returnee, most of you will be new because I think I only have one listener, and I'm not sure if he's listening, so he would be the only returnee. Anyway, so I do listen to classical now, and one of the reasons why I listen to the classical station, well, it's really a public radio station, but I'm saying classical, is because they are commercial free. And I am sick and tired of these commercials on all these other channels because, first of all, they're monotonous. I'm not going to say they're not creative. I mean, they're as creative as they can be. How many different ways are you going to sell auto insurance? How many different ways are you going to, sell cars? How many different ways are you going to, tell people that they have a drug or alcohol problem and they need help? Or if they're going to get a divorce, which lawyer? If they've been injured, which lawyer they're going to? How many different ways could you possibly say the same thing over and over again? Nobody does a generic commercial. Nobody comes out and say, "Hi, I'm Joe Smith. I am a personal injury lawyer. You should call this number, and I will help you in your personal injury or divorce. Thank you." Nobody does that. That would be the greatest commercial ever, I think. Not ever, but for now, because nobody does that. I think that would catch people's attention. Go, whoa, wait a minute. What was that? That sounded normal. Who was that guy that didn't shout? Who was that guy that didn't make a ridiculous claim? "Oh, I'm there every step of the way. Oh, I'm your DWI attorney. I fight. I went to the hospital the other day, and one of my clients, listen, he was watching the Yankee game, and I came to the hospital, and I stood between him and the TV, and I didn't realize where I was standing. And then, you know what he said to me? He said, 'Joe, move over. You're getting in the way of the Yankee game.'" And I knew right there that was a client for me. Yeah, he's paying you. That's why he's a client for you. I mean, what other commercial? You got to come down to so-and-so Chevrolet. My buyer just bought 80 cars. I told him to buy 8 cars. I now have 72 extra cars. Really? Come on, folks. Let's get it together here. I'll give you double your trade-in value. You know what you guys need to do, ladies and gentlemen? What you need to do? What I would suggest? Every state has an attorney general. Every state. The United States Attorney General, the AG. Yeah, you hear that on TV a lot. The AG, U.S. AG, United States Attorney General. So the United States has an Attorney General, and each state, as far as I know, I could be wrong. I haven't actually. I don't really know how these things work, but I'm going to guess that each state has an Attorney General. So I live in New York, and I have gone to the New York Attorney General's website, and there's a lot of information there. A lot of information about scams and these claims that these car dealers make to entice you to come to their dealership. I'm a dealer for the people. Yeah. Or I'm going to give away these TVs or this cruise or whatever. If you go to listen, this show is a little bit of a public service announcement at this point, but this is one of the reasons why I don't listen anymore to commercial radio, because these commercials are insulting. They're so stupid. Well, Dave, what is it to you? All you have to do is lower the volume. Yeah, I've done that. I'll change the channel immediately. I'll have, when I drive at work, like everybody else, I have FM1, FM2, and then I have AM. Sometimes you have 3 FMs. Yeah, and I'll preset the heck out of those stations. Unfortunately, when you drive long distances, the radio stations change, so I have to adjust. But, I'll fill my presets with different rock and roll stations, different talk stations, the sports station, even though I could care less about sports. I just don't want to hear insulting and offensive, not so much offensive because it hurts my feelings, but offensive as and embarrassing, or offensive as in you're treating me like a moron, like a dummy, like an idiot, like just a low IQ, drug addicted, alcohol addicted, accident prone, bad driving person who can't maintain a relationship and is getting divorced and bankrupt and still somehow is going to need a car, even though I can't afford it. But don't worry about having no credit or bad credit. If I make X amount of money, I can get this car or a car. I mean, really? It's just a round robin. I don't know. It's just a series of one awful commercial after another. So I don't listen to those stations anymore. Not maybe up until the part where the commercials come on. When the music or the talk is on, good. But once they get to the commercials, I'm hitting buttons. I mean, I don't even know how anybody advertises on the radio anymore. I don't understand why you would do that. I guess it works. I guess maybe I'm a rare. Well, we all know that I'm a little rare. That I'm a rare individual who actually has this bother me, that where enough where I change the channel. That's probably the truth, because now I'm thinking about the people who I meet, the people who I know. They just listen. They go, oh, whoa, what? He's got 72 extra cars? He's got 30 days to get rid of it? Oh, yeah. And then there's the truck driving jobs that I hear on the radio up here. There's a couple of companies, and they're constantly advertising for drivers. Yeah, we need 10 drivers in the next 30 days. Yeah, they always need 10 drivers. And then they tell you what a great job it is. And we all say, at my job, we all say, if it's such a great job, why are they always advertising for drivers? They're always advertising for 10 drivers in the next 30 or 60 days. It's the same commercial. Oh, and it's every hour, round and round. It goes the same. Sometimes they play the same commercial back to back. Back to back. Holy cow, what a sweet deal that is. I mean, I don't know. Do you think these guys are paying for back to back? I don't know. It's just... I don't even understand how that company makes money if they're spending so much money in advertising. I can't take it. I don't listen to commercial radio. I try not to. When I had Sirius, I loved it. I haven't had Sirius in my car in a long, long time. Several years, because I didn't have money before I got this job, and then the antenna broke, and I just never followed through on... I have a new... box, the box, the antenna, the whole stuff. Excuse me, well, I'm hiccuping. That's rare. But I just haven't done it, and I really should do it because I miss my satellite. And I miss Howard Stern. I don't know if he's good still, or if I heard he wasn't that good. Maybe he's getting good again. I don't know. But that's the only reason why I got Sirius, was for Howard. I remember the day I got Sirius. I remember where I was when the whole thing went down. It was. I'll tell. We'll talk about it another time. I'm going to talk about it today. I'm not saving the story for any reason, except I'm just really not in the mood to tell you the story right now. That's my prerogative. I'm going to stick with the other thing that I'm not talking about. I'll stick with the other things I'm not talking about. What was I not talking about? Well, anyway, so that's why I don't listen to commercial radio. And that's the deal with that. I have nothing else to expand on. My previous show, where I got my first email, my buddy Mark says I should try to elicit thought. What do you think? See how bad that comes out? What do you think? We'd like to know. They used to do a public service announcement down in New York, Channel 9, WOR, where I think the station manager or somebody would be in all different locations all across the tri-state area, I think. And he would do these things like, I remember one time he was on the side of the road on the Long Island Expressway, and he was like, they are contemplating running doubles and possibly triples. I don't remember what he said, but I know they were talking about doubles, allowing doubles on the Long Island Expressway. It was like, he was talking about, the dangers of that and how congested the LIE was already. So, it was just, everywhere he went, there was a public service announcement. And at the end of it, that was the point of this. At the end of it, he would always go, what do you think? We'd like to know. How do you feel? We'd like to know. Please write us at WOR or whatever. And it was interesting. It was just one of those things that I would always stumble on. You never knew when it was going to come on. Maybe there was a regular time. It wasn't during the news. Maybe it was. I don't remember. It wasn't part of the news. It was just something they did. Who knows? I can't imagine who was writing letters to WOR. And then what? Because I never saw the responses to any of this. So if anybody, okay, now I'll do a little bit of a listening thought. If any of you are from the New York tri-state area and you remember them doing this on WOR, email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. Yes, dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. That is my email address. And I will respond to as many emails as I can, which right now is all of them, because I don't get any. I only got one so far, and this is episode 13. Did I say welcome to episode 13? Well, now you've been welcomed. Yeah, I don't know if there was ever a follow-up show that addressed. Maybe they did. Maybe I don't remember. Maybe they would read one letter, like at the beginning of the show, and then they would get on to the new PSA. Maybe. I don't remember exactly. Maybe you remember. If you remember, write me. Send me an email at dumbingitdown@yahoo.com and let me know what you remember. I wonder if there's a YouTube video of these things. There probably is. Oh boy. First yawn. There we go. Wow. First yawn. It wasn't a big one though, but it usually sets off a whole bunch of them. So that's the deal with my musical choices. But I do listen to classical music. I have really grown accustomed to it. It's an acquired taste. It goes along with my meditation. It goes along with my contemplative thought process, I guess. I don't like all of it. I like the melodic stuff. I like the beautiful symphony stuff. I like solo instruments too. I don't like the harpsichord. That's my least favorite out of all. I only have really one least favorite instrument, and that's the harpsichord. I've hated the harpsichord. I've hated the harpsichord ever since the Addams Family. It just sounds like an instrument that's broken. Do you know what a harpsichord is? Do I know what a harpsichord is? If it's what I think it is, it looks like piano. It looks like a piano, but it sounds like a broken boing 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 machine, whatever that might be. I just think it's the most horrible sound. I just don't understand how anybody can listen to that atrocious instrument. I like almost every wind. I like a good clarinet. I like a good flute. Hey, I've heard good classical recorder. You guys remember the recorder from school? Hot cross buns, hot cross buns, hot, cross, hot cross buns. Was that how it was? It's hot, are they ready? Hot, something like, I don't remember those exact words, but hot cross buns. I didn't take the recorder very seriously. I should have. But I do know there are professional recorder players in the world, and they do classical music, and it's quite phenomenal. I think almost any person that's a professional musician is phenomenal. The fact that you could play an instrument and be paid to do it on a regular basis, if you could make a living off of that, that's amazing. If you could make a living as a classical recorder player, that's something. I mean, where's the demand for that? But I have heard that on the radio, and it's pretty phenomenal. I like the bassoon. I like everything. I like the trumpet. Maybe saxophone is not my favorite. Sometimes the saxophone seems a little melodramatic. And then when it's a happy instrument, I'm not that crazy about it either. So right next to harpsichord, my next least favorite instrument or liked instrument is the saxophone. I love the piano. I love a good, moody, mostly sad or depressing piano. Yeah, I like that. I do. It's funny. I just remembered when I was running back in 2013, when I was running and training for half marathons and things like that. I never ran a marathon. I only ran half marathons. But I was training for the marathon. The marathon that I qualified for and I never ran. It's a long story. It's not really that long, but I just don't feel like telling it. That's the second story I don't feel like telling today. Why is this guy waiting for me? Go. Go. Knucklehead. So anyway, when I used to run, I would never run with music in my ears. I just wasn't one of those people. Some people love to have earphones. They like to have that it's supposedly inspiring music. But I didn't find that pragmatic. I thought that was phony energy. It's like sugar. It's like, it's like sugar. It's going to give you a short burst of energy, but then you're going to crash. And the thing with music in your ear, you always have to have good music. You can't have mediocre music. And then you got to play with the device. I mean, I guess, if you have a good, what do you call those things? The iTouch, iPod, whatever, iThing, whatever. You have a musical device, you can set it, and I guess you could put in, 2 hours worth of music or whatever. I don't know how that all works. So you could always have it to be energetic music. But then you got it in your head and, what are you going to have? You're going to have the Rocky thing playing for 2 hours. You're going to have all the different Rocky movie themes, and to me it just seemed fake. It just seemed wrong. Not wrong. I don't care if you do it. I didn't do it. I wanted to be strong without it. What if your batteries die? What if you lose a device? What if you're so used to running with music in your ear, and then one day, no more music? For whatever reason, you forgot it in your car. It's raining. It's short-circuited. The batteries went dead. Or it's shorted out. All those electronic issues. And by the way, I have a lot of electronic issues. And I think it's because my body has a negative charge. Do you believe in that? Have you ever heard of that? That some people have a negative charge. That's why everything they touch electronically breaks, short circuits. Do you believe in that? I believe in that. I have no reason not to believe in it. I believe in it as much as I possibly can. I think it's quite possible. What do I know? So, I do know that I have a history of electronics that is not the greatest. So, I don't have any specific stories to tell you, but needless to say, a lot of things break on me. A lot of things stop working, or they work worse. And I never seem to be able to repair or whatever. It's been frustrating. Oh boy. So, did I yawn my thought out? Electronics. I would run. There we go. I would run. I decided early on, and I was a little bit inspired by Mike Tyson, because I remember when Mike Tyson was hot, when he was really winning and fighting and winning, he was just crushing everybody in the first round. It was just brutal to watch. He came out with that towel around his head, no big robe, no fancy schmancy. Came out there like a gladiator, like black shoes, I think it was black socks or whatever it was. He just came out, boom, 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 done. Winner. Savage. A gladiator. No holds barred, just bam. Brute strength, speed, strategy. I mean, the guy was just insane. It was great to watch. Classic boxing. Not really classic boxing, but it was definitely an interesting time in the world of boxing. It's a shame it all went downhill. Anyway, so he sort of inspires me. And I just like athletes that don't show off. I like anybody that doesn't show off, that doesn't have hype. They just go out and do it. Just do it. And I thought it'd be good for me. I thought it'd be good for my brain to go out there and run without any music in my head and just sort of go through the Rolodex of thoughts and feelings and emotions. But let me tell you something. It wasn't the worst idea. It wasn't the best idea. It sounds like a book I'm about to write. It was the worst of ideas. It was the best of ideas. It was good. It definitely helped me focus. I was definitely focused on the job at hand, which was to get in shape. I would pay attention to my stride. I would pay attention to my speed. I was paying attention to everything that had to do with me running. And running smartly and safely and all that. But sometimes my mind would wander. Like, I'd be in the zone. When I was in the zone, it'd be blissful. Blissful. I would just run and run and run. And then I would come out of the zone. And I go, oh, where am I? I was kind of like in a trance. Always aware where I was. I was aware of the vehicles coming and going. But I would just be in autopilot. And my legs would move, and my arms would move, and I wasn't thinking about the effort. I wasn't thinking about anything, and I wasn't thinking about any random thoughts in my brain. It was very peaceful. It was very enjoyable. And then every so often, I'd pop out of the zone. I'd fall out of the zone, whatever the word you want to use. And, oh, boy, I'd start thinking, all these things you're hearing me talk about during these last 13 podcasts. This is the 13th. All these thoughts, emotional thoughts, about friends and family and acquaintances and my life and decisions and all that stuff would be in my head, like a Rolodex. Just imagine those cards. For those of you who remember what a Rolodex is, just round and round and round it would go. And oh my God, it was torture. It was horrible. It would get me angry. I would get sad. I would get angry. Oh, I would just horrible. Hated it. And I would just try to get out of it, and I would just try to refocus on my running. And then eventually I get out of it, and I get back into into the zone and just focus. And it got very peaceful. So you can imagine if I went for a 2-hour run, that my mind would go back and forth, and boy, it was interesting. But I would definitely focus, and I had very little patience. Oh, excuse me. I had very little patience for things that didn't have to do with positivity and my progress and my well-being. So admittedly, I was more selfish than ever. But I had a goal. I had to run, and I wanted to be healthy. And it went very well for the year that I did it. Very well. And I don't apologize for my selfishness. And I embrace it because it really was very cleansing to not be mired down in other people's muck and mire. And that kind of goes along with part of episode 12. I don't have the letter in front of me, but my buddy Mark, who sent me the first email ever, said, "Why has something to the effect of why has everybody in your life let you down? Why do you feel like everybody has let you down?" And so how do I put this together? Because I'm getting a little bit tired, so I think I just lost a little train of thought. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that, I know you don't know. Without, when I was running and I was really focused, you start to really hear the bullshit. You start to really hear it clear. When people say things to you, you go, that's not true. That's not true at all. You're just saying something now. You're just saying, it's like when you're a little kid, you go, I don't like that, like some food. But I don't know if any of you remember this, but there are times where you have said things like you don't like this food, or you don't like this place, or you don't like this person, but you really don't mean it. You're just saying it. You're saying it, and then sometimes you're not even aware that you're saying it, or that you've said it. It just slips out, or you're saying it for an ulterior motive, because whatever that ulterior motive might be, you come up with a reason that isn't the real reason. Like my wife might say to me, "Hey, we're going down to Brooklyn on Sunday because my family is doing so-and-so, so-and-so." And I'm always like, I'm not going. And she might say, "Well, why aren't you going?" And I'll go, Sunday is, traffic day, or Sunday is, high terrorist threat day, or Sunday, whatever I might say, just to get out of it. I don't want to go. I think people do that. I think people say things. So yeah, I would hear the bullshit. And my apologies for those who are offended. I'm cursing. I would hear the BS. I would hear simple BS. Oh, I didn't have the time. Oh, I forgot all about it. Or, oh, is that you? Or, like, for instance, here's an interesting, maybe this is an interesting example. I have a friend. I think he's college graduated. I do separate college graduate from non-college graduate. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do. That's an accomplishment. At least 4 years of schooling, maybe 2 years junior college. I don't know how that all works, but if you got a degree, whatever degree that is, that's a sense of accomplishment. That's a real accomplishment. It's not phony baloney. I don't care what college you went to. The fact that you stood it out. What is the word I'm trying to say? Stuck it out. Oh, come on, Dave. Stuck it out. The fact that you stuck it out for 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years, whatever it is, that's admirable. You did it. Good for you. I never did it. So what was my point about? Wow. See, it goes like that. Just like that, it goes. What was I talking about? Wow. Okay. It's gone. Just like that. So you just witnessed it, folks. I don't know if I'm going to get that back. I was talking about exercising. I was talking about focus. Talking about stories, excuses. Wow. 2-year college, 4-year college. Trying to say things to spark my memory. It's not sparking. Dead. The memory spark plug is dead. I just lost the cylinder. That's basically what I did. And I can't rewind this. If I hit the stop button, I stop it. It doesn't rewind. But I heard the stories. If I'll just take a chance. Maybe that's what I was talking about. I've heard all the stories, all the excuses of what they can and cannot do. So I can figure it out. Anyway, let's move on. I'm trying to spark a memory. It's not happening. Well, there you go. Degradation right there in front of you. Now you're all sitting there chomping at the bit. Wait a minute, you were talking about this. Well, I'm sorry. I just lost it right in front of you all. What a great experiment to see, to experience. I think it's great. Maybe for you, it's not so great. But so that's okay. That makes this podcast a little memorable. Because it's a natural podcast. It's live. I mean, of course I record it live. But I don't edit it. I don't sweeten it. I don't do anything to it. It is what it is. I start it and then I stop it. And then it's over. Oh boy. It's really, I think the first time that's happened like that. I didn't even yawn. I just paused and then like your computer, the circle went round and round and round, and then there was an error. 301, whatever. Error. Click for more details, or click here to go hit the home button. Go back. Oh, anyway, but I was when I was running, I was pretty focused, yeah. And I can hear the BS. I can hear the stories. Pretty crazy. All different things. Was he talking about going to Brooklyn? No. Anyway, probably should end it right now. I think I just said anyway about 10 times. Yeah, why not? Let's do a short one today. Yeah, 34 minutes. Good enough. Originally, this podcast was supposed to be a half hour or less. Not this one in particular, but every day until I got that sweet deal for whatever plan I'm on right now for $2 a month. But I got to, change it. I got to get back to doing half an hour a day. All right, folks, let's end it right there. I wanted to talk politics maybe, but I'm exhausted, and I'm not almost home, but oh wait, I am almost home. All right, that's another problem. I don't know where I'm at, but I just saw a mile marker, so yeah, I'm almost home. That's it. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I do. I hope you're enjoying it. I would like it if you are listening, which most likely you are, on the Spreaker app. If you could click like, that would be great. If you want to leave me a comment, The first button on the left is the like button. The second button from the left is the comment button. And then there's also, I think, a share button in there somewhere. So yeah, if you could post this somewhere, that'd be great. If you can click like, that would be nice. It's all helpful. If you're a friend of mine, if you are in fact a friend of mine, you could do what I would do for you. I would post this everywhere. I would help spread the word. That's what I would do. I would. That's what my friend in my previous letter said. That I get upset because people don't act like me. So, here I go. I would like you to act like me and help spread my word. What does it cost to you? Nothing. It's a click of a button. Send out a little email to your friends. I don't care. I'm not begging you to do it. I'm just saying you could. You could. And maybe that's what I was getting at before. Probably not. But I've learned over time, I think having my son was a real big part of it. But it's easy to say I will. It's easy to say I can. It's also very easy to say the opposite of that. But I have found it much easier to say yes. Yes, and do it. Try to do it. Whatever it is. And I've had a whole life of my father, and my mom and the rest of my family not being that cooperative. Which is a shame. So if you have a child, try to say yes. Try to do. Try to make it happen. You control your thoughts. You can make anything possible. You really can. I might not be the poster boy for making things happen, but oh boy. But it's not that hard. When your son or your daughter, especially when they're young, you gotta put aside your biases. Every time? Well, maybe not every time. But think about the things they're asking you. Think about the impact, negative or positive. You got to think about these things. Really, Dave, you're giving parental advice? Yeah, a little bit, because I look back on my life with my son, and I would go back and change things. I would change a lot of things. I'd be a little bit more, how do you say, I'd be a little bit more lenient. Woo! Yeah. I'd be a little bit more lenient. I'd be a little bit more agreeable and less judgmental. But I couldn't handle that. So I blew it. I don't know if those decisions that I made were that important. I'm sure a lot of them were. But I'm sure a lot of them weren't that important. But that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's going to have to be because I can't go back in time. I wish I could. It's a big regret. Big, big, big regret. So, I'm not sure if I tied it all in. I'm getting even more tired now than I was 5 minutes ago. I'm just glad I completed that thought. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know the deal. Thank you so much for tuning into the fastest podcast on earth. This has been Dumbing It Down with Dave, with your host, Dave Kanyan, your one and only solo host. Oh boy. So please email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. You want to tweet me or follow me. It's dumb with Dave. Facebook. I think the page is actually Dumbing It Down with Dave, but the URL is Dumb with Dave. I think that's all I got. Yep, that's all I got. So that was an interesting short show. All right, buddy? All right, buddy. I just got a text from a friend of mine, so I'm calling you buddy. All right, buddies. All right, there, dum-dums. That was a short one. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Please try to acknowledge my existence on this planet by clicking like or leaving a comment on the app, or send me an email, and I will read it on the air unless you don't want me to. You have to specify, don't read this on the air. Don't divulge the information that I give you. Keep it to yourself. There's a lot of different ways to say it. Dumbing it down with Dave at yahoo.com. And that's enough. Done with Dave, Twitter, and Done with Dave everywhere else. Dumbing it down with Dave at Facebook. All right, guys. It's a beautiful sunny day. 6:31 in the morning. Almost 40-minute podcast. Take care. Goodbye. No. Do it again. Take 2. Good day. Good night. Goodbye. Good luck. And, I don't know, Godspeed? Oh, that's another G word. Look at that. Good day, good night. Godspeed. Wow. And all that good. Great skills. That's the one I left out. Great skills. That's my favorite. Should have great skills. Try to utilize your skills. All right. I can't wait to listen to this and find out where I lost the trail. It's gonna be so funny. I bet you I didn't lose the trail. We're like, well, what was he talking about? He was on it. He kept on saying he was on it, but he acted like he was off of it. That guy's nuts. He needs medication. Yeah, right. I need sleep. All right, kids. Great job. Great job. You just sitting there listening. That's good. Good deal. We'll see you soon. Dave Kanyan signing off. Click. Oh, almost forgot. Don't forget to listen to Pipe Dream on the Comedy Pipe Network. Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. Pipe Dream. New guest every week. I was on episode 177. I think they're already up to 187 or something like that. They are up there. They get it done. Week after week, another show. So, they usually have a special guest. They do the interview. And then, there's other stuff. Pipe Dream. Pipe Dream. Pipe Dreams. Everything is just a pipe dream. Pipe Dream on the Comedy Pipe Network. Comedy Pipe Radio Network? Yeah, something like that. Look it up. Very easy to find. Take care. Bye.